Hello YouTube, Jeff Steele here with Steele Navigator. Today I wanted to shoot a video on the topic of fishing as a minimalist or minimalist fishing. Okay, so minimalism is really a subjective term. It's different to everybody. Everybody's at their own level of minimalism, and basically it boils down to eliminating stuff and overall waste from your life, and doing so frees you. It frees your mind, it frees your time, and many other things. Okay, so basically it's just about being involved in things and owning things that you genuinely use on a regular basis that bring true value to you. And I have the belief that we don't own stuff. Stuff owns us. Okay, it owns our time, it owns our mental real estate, it owns all of our energies. Okay, I mean, for example, look at Warren Buffett, multi-billionaire. He still lives in the same middle-class home he has for 50 or 60 years. Okay, he said, sure, I can have 100 homes around the world, but why would I want to have to worry about all of those properties and maintaining and all that, and worrying about people stealing from those properties? It's just about freeing yourself and just having what you need, and it will lighten you overall. Okay, mentally, physically, emotionally, and at every level. So, in regards to fishing, I've been fishing since I was 7 or 8 years old. Okay, 31 now, and I've mainly focused on bass fishing, a little bit of catfishing, a little bit of crappie fishing, but mainly just bass fishing overall, largemouth and spotted bass. Okay, that's just what my favorite fishing is. So that's what I'm speaking from experience wise. And I feel like those types of fishing, especially the bass fishing and the catfishing, is probably the most minimalist type of fishing that we can do. So fishing is a bit of a rabbit hole, especially depending on what you're fishing for. And you can spend as much money as you want. You can buy as much gear as you want. I mean, for example, you want to buy a $100,000 bass boat or center console. I mean, you can get up into $500,000 for a fancy center console boat, and that bass boat, you probably could get up to $150,000, maybe even $200,000 in a bass boat. Okay, and then you got to buy a fancy truck, $175,000 for a fancy truck to tow it to the lake. So I mean, you could have a $250,000 in a truck and boat easily. Okay, so you can really go down a rabbit hole with money. And in regards to that lake living, that lake life, okay, boats are extremely expensive to maintain. Extremely expensive. I have friends that own and operate boat mechanic shops, and even new boats, just a couple years old, they're in the shops regular. It's just how it is. Okay, and there is a tremendous amount of physical and mental energy in regards to trailering a boat to and from a recreational lake. You have all sorts of regulations and registrations in regards to boats. Okay, you got to worry about the social traffic out on the water. Okay, oftentimes fishermen, they have to go out at night. They have to go super early hours in the morning or late in the evening to try to find that glass-like water, because there's people out there wakeboarding, riding around on houseboats, creating wakes, disturbing the water, muddying the water up. So it's a constant physical and mental battle being out at that level of fishing out on the boats, on recreational lakes. And I could even say, I mean, even the ocean. I mean, you're talking about mega money getting into saltwater fishing and going offshore. So that's, I mean, you could times that by 2 or 3 as far as money getting into offshore fishing. And minimalist fishing to me is fishing locally. Okay, I grew up fishing a lot of times in small john boats, trolling motor boats, little small bass buggies, they call them, short plastic boats. And that's a small level as far as minimalism on fishing. That is, and I did that for years. I probably did that for 10 or 15 years. But there's still energy involved, okay? Going to the community lakes that allow fishing out of a boat. Still have to deal with homeowner associations, and you have to deal with DNR if they regulate a recreational lake, say where it's electric motor only. Oftentimes they have specific hours, 8 to 5, you only can be out there. And what if you're out there and your battery dies and you don't make it back to the gate in time and you have to call them for a tow? I mean, there's a level of energy, money, and time in regards to fishing at that level, okay? But the type of fishing that I have gravitated to is what I find to be the most enjoyable, and I really think it is a super minimalist type of fishing. So I have a tackle box, and just like a house, I think most men can agree with this, maybe ladies too. The larger your tackle box, the more you feel the need to fill that tackle box up. You're not going to have drawers in your tackle box that are empty without lures in them. You're going to fill that drawer up with lures. Whether you're going to use those lures or not, probably not. I have increased the size of my tackle box probably 3 times since I started fishing when I was young, and I still use the same lures regularly. Yet I have this giant tackle box that's completely full with lots of lures. I have lots of options, but I still only use 2, 3 lures and maybe only 1 tool regularly. Okay? And I have friends that spend absolute thousands of dollars on rods, reels. They have 30 rods and reels, and they have hundreds of fishing lures and 10 tackle boxes. Okay? They don't catch any more fish than I do. They just spend a lot more money on it, a lot more time and energy on it. Okay? They spend a lot of time and energy out on the boats and all. And the great thing about it is, hey, if you want to secure an invite on a boat, usually you can do that. People don't like to fish alone. Now, they'll be glad to take you. So if in an event you do want to go out on a boat, you don't have to own and maintain one. Just secure an invitation with a friend and go with them. Okay? So fishing locally, I like to fish local farm ponds. That's what I like the most. And usually you can get permission from landowners. All you have to do is ask. What's the worst thing that can happen? They're going to tell you no. Okay, go on to the next one. For example, where I live, there's probably 10 farm ponds in a 5-mile radius. So, I mean, lots of places to fish. Recreational lakes have many parks. I like to just pull up, fish right off the bank. Okay. Now, what you can do, I have this big old tackle box that's full of lures. Sometimes I'll take it with me, leave it in the car, or I'll just leave it at home altogether and take what I'm going to be using. Okay. I might take 2 rods, maybe 3, or I might just take 1. Okay, the important thing in here is to buy quality so it lasts. Okay, this reel I've had and used every year for 20 years. Let me repeat that. This little bait caster I've been using every year for 20 years. I've only oiled it a couple of times. It is high quality. This is a Shimano Chronarch MG. I traded a guy for it. I had a reel from Walmart. I think I paid about $50 for it. Traded a guy for this. These things at the time retailed for about $350. Okay, I didn't pay that for it, but hey, had I known the quality and how long it's going to last, this is my go-to reel. I use it every time I go fishing. It's worth the money. I mean, think about your cost per use. Okay, super low. You buy El Cheapo. I've had the $50, the $75 reels. The gear's stripped out of them. They're junk. Okay, save your money, buy a good one, and it'll last you a lifetime probably. Okay, so, and my go-to lure, of course, I've tried everything: spinner baits, buzz baits, everything. Okay, what is the minimalist lure? Right here. Texas rig, little bass bass hook or worm hook. Okay, got a bullet weight, got a glass bead right there. Okay, that right there is going to catch you more fish in more areas and be weedless than any other thing else you can use. Okay, I'll take a pack of worms in case I tear this one up. I'll put it in my back pocket. And what do I take with me in regards to the extra pack of worms? So this is a pack of worms right here. I'll just throw it in my back pocket in case I tear one up, or I guess a bass each one. And what I have in my other back pocket? Forceps, okay, right here. I've had these for 15, 20 years. Never had a problem with them, because we know hooks get caught in the lip. All right. Okay, so what happens if you break your line? Okay, maybe you bring an extra pole and have it in the car, or you just run back and grab it, or you just go home. Okay, it's pretty rare for that to happen, and usually you can just tweak it and try to unhook it if you get caught on a log or something underneath. And this will keep, this type of fishing, this minimalist fishing, it'll keep you from getting burnt out. I can promise you, if you get into the trucks and large boats and going to recreational lakes every weekend, you're talking about an all-day scenario. When you go to a recreational lake, even with a John boat and a trolling motor, okay, you're talking about, you're burning a whole day, okay? When you do this minimalist type of fishing, you might go for an hour, maybe 2 hours. If you're really doing good and feeling great and want to hang out, you might hang out another hour, maybe 3 hours. But at the end of the day, when you're ready to go, you can just go throw your pole in the back of the car and run home or go where you need to go. You're not got to say, okay, well, we got to get back to the boat ramp. It's going to take us an hour to get back to the boat ramp. When you get to the boat ramp, there's a line of people loading their boats up, and you got to wait an hour. I mean, it's so much less energy fishing as a minimalist fishing. Okay, you feel so much lighter. You're not lugging a tackle box around the lake with you. You can catch more fish in a shorter amount of time and just not feel bogged down. It's not going to burn you out. I promise you. I've seen it time and time again. Guys will get into the mega money buying boats and big trucks and all that, and fishing recreational lakes. Within 2-5 years, maybe some it might take 10 years, they get burned out because they know how much energy and time it takes and money. Filling a boat up, you're talking about $100, $200, maybe $300 in fuel. And it goes on up from there into the thousands, okay, depending on how big the boat is. And I mean, I have an uncle that's a multi-millionaire, okay. He's got 2 boats on the lake, okay. Got all the time and money in the world, but he might go fishing once, twice in the spring or summer, maybe 3 or 4 times max, okay. Okay, it's just a prime example on how that type of fishing will burn you out. It will melt your credit card, and it'll just make you not fish. It's just so much more freeing, more fun, I think, fishing as a minimalist. Try it out. Start a conversation on it. Comment down below. Like the video if you would. Subscribe. I'll leave some links down below for the items I use as far as a minimalist fisherman that I've been using for 20 years, and they've been working. I think they're going to keep working. I thoroughly enjoy it, and I don't see myself getting burnt out on fishing. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I will upload as soon as I can another one. Have a great day.